Alright, welcome back everybody. So we're continuing with where we left off. The goal is to do a full clear of the entire game. And yeah, I'm not too proud to admit I was very incorrect about it. I thought the whole process would take about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and then we quickly discovered that we're losing a lot of time to travel time. And I feel like I should have been able to guess that, but I didn't. What that means is that there's no combat, there's no single monster, there's no pack of monsters that can even remotely challenge us. I guess I should take all these. There's nothing that can hurt us. But the issue is that it's getting to and through objectives that we lose all that time. So, definitely a little on the unfortunate side that it has to be that way. But we'll see it through. And we might learn something at the very end of all this. Maybe. So far what I've learned was that it's a big game. These aren't speedrun tactics necessarily, and frankly, speedrun tactics are actually counterintuitive to our goal here. Case in point is Castle Alamos. If you know what you're doing, you can beat Castle Alamos in maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If you know exactly what you're doing, probably around 5 to 10 minutes. Just because of travel time and if you have to kill a monster for some reason. But to full clear it, it's best to do it as prescribed. So, in Castle Alamos, you use the jump spell, type in J-Bard, and you're good. It's done. But with this one, you don't have to worry about the puzzle so much. What we're worried about is finding every monster and dealing with every monster. So, that's the problem. Varn, I guess I wasn't thinking of Varn whenever I started this. I guess I would call it a challenge, but whenever I started this, I wasn't thinking about that. I mean, Varn is huge. We've already been in here for a couple of minutes, and just look at the size of this room. The size of this one room is, almost the entirety of Goblin Watch. So although we're moving as fast as we can, it doesn't matter. And then we just gotta deal with the puzzles. Normally, I would never even fight this pack over here. You can just skip them entirely. So there's no point to fight this pack. They're genies, they drop rings and things, and that's great. A little bit of XP here and there, but no reason to fight them. But unfortunately, we have to come and spray them down. And, once again, like I was just saying, this would be an incredibly hard pack to fight if we were doing this, at the level we were supposed to be doing it instead of level 200 and whatever we're at right now. So they're all done. That was easy. But that also took time, and it's finding all the monsters. That's where we're losing the time. But fortunately, I have a good enough understanding of Varn that we should be able to get through this pretty quickly. Here's hoping. That and the maps, I think, stay filled out, which is nice. Oh. So right before I started this recording, I was playing around with what might be the follow-on series. I think I'm gonna give Four Nights a try. I know that it's already been done. People have beaten the game with one night. So Four Nights, just a little bit stronger than that. But the issue that's going to come into play with Four Nights is that a lot of the exploits that we use in this run aren't going to work. And I had intended on just playing around with them, seeing what can happen. A lot of stuff is still very possible because Four Nights is effectively what we had whenever we very first started this run. They had no magic abilities, they couldn't fly, teleport, Lord's Beacon, they couldn't do anything, right? But then we got those things and it smoothed everything out. But the challenge there is that if we never have access to those things, there's a couple of implications that come with that. The very first one is that the game is just going to generally be a bit harder because we don't have access to dark magic. And dark magic, it has, shrapnel. It's the most powerful thing. Now, my second thought there was, well, teleporting and all that, it'll take a lot of in-game time, and that's no big deal, whatever. But to make blasters work, you need haste. And so if you don't have haste, what do? So open Prima's Guidebook, and haste is one of the few abilities that you can't actually get from an NPC. So, okay, that's unfortunate, but what's the workaround? And sure enough, there's a workaround, and it's that we're going to need potions. I don't have this key. We'll set a beacon here. I don't know if this will be relevant. Ah, well. Not a big deal. But, so we can't cast haste, so we need the potions. We can't use the testing hall, which is the secret New World computing dungeon that everybody knows about. So we're gonna have to manually pick those things, and then whenever we don't have access to haste, it will probably come down to bows and weapons. One of the upsides to not having magic is that we're going to be able to put a lot of points into weapons and other skills. And I'm gonna have to crunch the numbers on that and kind of figure it out. Off the top of my head, with the limited, looking at stuff that I was looking at, the spear and sword combo is probably not going to be the optimal choice. It's very iconic, and my brother probably won't like that idea. But I think that there is potential in using a dagger with a mace. Or maybe an axe. We'll find out real fast. It was, I should go have dagger. Right, so we put the dagger in the left hand, and that should be fine. And we can put the mace. Nope, I'm sorry, it was the axe. I'm going to put the axe in the other hand. And so what that's going to do, ideally, I think that would allow us to use the axe to attack, 3 times for axe levels of damage. And axes do the most damage in the game on a weapon per weapon basis. That's how they're designed. So that might work. It might be powerful. And if for some reason that isn't working out, um, I'll know it going into it. So we're just kind of playing with the game plan. If that won't work out for whatever reason, spear and sword is a very solid combination. I don't know if we can, Jesus. I don't think we can. Right, so if that won't work, spear and sword is, obviously the default. It's what I know, it's what I like, it's very iconic. 2 daggers is also solid, but daggers don't do a lot of damage. And if we're doing that, we'd have to find 8 divine daggers of the dragon. Maybe, possibly 4 of those, plus a Mordred, and some of Darkness divine daggers, but it'd be rough. Ideally, it would just be blasters and haste, but that may or may not even be reasonably possible. Like, oh, there's nothing over here. Like most things in the game, it'd be pretty easy to, cheese it, go to prison and loot everything in every shop in the world and all those things, just to, have everything reset and whatnot. I'd rather not do that if possible, but whatever will work is just what we have to do. And Varn is not fun, even whenever it's incredibly easy. It's just so big. I guess there was a... I don't even know what this room is. I have no idea what this room even is. Theoretically, if this were to be some type of a speedrun category type thing, you'd probably have to go in and mark every location that enemies can spawn in the world on a map and then have that, at the ready to run. I mean, given that I've never even seen this room, I don't even know what this is. I definitely missed, not even skipped, but straight up missed a lot of mobs the first time I played through here. This was a pretty good experience whenever we're done, though. Just not a terribly efficient way to get experience. Oh, nothing here. Okay. Surely there's a much more optimal route you could use to do all this, but I didn't do a whole lot of preparation for this one. It would just start as a thought experiment that I was curious about. And so, here we are. Just kind of blindly blasting our way through Might and Magic 6. That didn't work. I think the 4 Knights run could be interesting. It would mostly just be boiling down to a, can I do it sort of thing. I know that I can. At the end of the day, this game is old. We know a lot about it. It wouldn't be terribly hard to cheese the entire thing and then call that a day. But I've never done that before. Typically, my usual party, I may have mentioned this before, Water Temple, there we go. my non-min-maxy parties, which I don't min-max often, honestly. Nothing here. Where is this one talking about? We're one floor down in the middle of the map here, but we need to be a floor up and over there. So the closest we can get is to recall this one, but we can't open this. So I guess we're running. My usual non-min-max party, the way that I typically played normally. It's the knight, the druid, a cleric, and a sorcerer. They're really strong in the mid game, and they fall off at the end compared to 2 sorcerers and 2 clerics, which is arguably the most powerful comp in the game. The argument comes into play that is a sorcerer better than the second cleric? They all have divine intervention, so they can all full heal. The cleric's armor abilities and weapon abilities are irrelevant because they're all going to be attacking with shrapnel or blasters. So what's the point of the second cleric? And I guess my thought process here is the extra spell points that you get from having the third sorcerer. I don't think it outweighs the utility of having where's the key? There we go. I don't think it outweighs the utility of having shoot. There we go. Of having the healing capabilities of the cleric. So, at the very end of the day, they're practically on par with each other. Don't we need this thing? Okay, there's the biblioteca, or whatever it's called. And I don't want that. So that opens up this. Take the doctor's note. And we have the Varn chest key, which is where is that? Okay. It's the other end of everything. But see, there's still monsters showing. I mean, there's a solid chance that even whenever I finish this, I'll still have to go back in and find all the monsters. The goal isn't to open all the chests and get the control cube or whatever you're supposed to come in here for. The goal is to kill everything. And that's the challenge. The Varn chest key, it should be, shit. Thought you, it should be over here. Should be. So there might be a few mobs that just kind of hang out in these corners. Should populate on the map. No? Okay, that's good. We never found the elevator though. The one up there. Well, I'm blanking out how you would get to that area if we didn't have, not exploits, but just ulterior means. Alternative means. This is not the way that's intended, obviously. But it's the way we're going to be doing it. We're just going to work backwards until we figure it out. Okay. Showing green. That's good. Okay, I was wrong. The bibliotheca is in front of us, so we don't need to go there. Yeah, it's a little bit of downtime. I imagine as I was watching this, you can probably safely just skip ahead a little bit and just pick back up with me whenever we find out what's going on. Shouldn't take too long, but I guess it's less straightforward than I had expected. What's that? No. On the mini map there was the indicator for chest below us, but that's one with the control cube in it. And I think it's got to be in this wing. And this wing, I think, attaches to the lower floors. So I think this puts us on the right track. Okay. That was silly. There we go. Here's a fun one. But it's a good thing that nothing here can actually hurt us. As long as our hit points are above 0 and we have haste, we can win this. There we go. Still showing enemies. The last things we're going to fight in here are the exterminator bots. So once we find them, we should know that we're done. Ooh, missed one. There we go. We're back here. No, that's not right. It's this way. Got a few more there. This wing, and now we're very close. I know that it's down here somewhere, but I cannot remember where. Because I think this one up here, that's where we found the Flame Temple one. That's not it. Over this way, these are the exterminator bots. So is there another wing? That's a dead end. There's the hole in the floor. Came up through this way. If we hit them. My memory is really failing me right now. There's nowhere to go that way. Okay. Let's backtrack and try to find out where this is, because I think we're looking for the elevator. Oh, that's not it either. If we could find that elevator, that would probably let us know where we're trying to go. Still on the floor. Yep, okay. There's nothing left for us down in these catacomb-looking things. I don't believe there's anything over here that we need. So I just need to find my way back to that elevator. Already went that way. Somebody way smarter than me is probably having a whole aneurysm just watching me struggle with this. Oh, you're claiming I'm an expert but can't speedrun Varn. Well, like I said, this isn't an expert playthrough. Somebody already did that. Semi-expert. I would put myself just shy of expert. I know a lot about this game. Not everything, and a lot of what I know I learned from other places. You know, it's that whole standing on the shoulders of giants kind of deal. Because, you know, there's a reason that typically I played through with, the comp that I did. Shoot. I don't remember how to get to the elevator. Yeah, it's not that, you know, I'm an expert. I know a lot about the game from other people, which is great. You know, I enjoy playing the game. It's a lot of fun. Power. Change this back over. There we go. I think it was up here. You know, so my, you know, I did a lot of playthroughs with the typical, you know, starting party that everybody has. Still enemies over here. There are. But where are they? Weird. And then eventually I switched over to the Knight, Druid, Cleric Sorcerer combination. The Archer isn't useless by any means. You know, they're better than a Knight for the mid game. They have access to, you know, utility magic and, you know, raw magic, and those things carry a lot of weight. And we're also back here again. Man, I'm lost. That's not it. See if we can find a way out of this little area so we can keep making some progress. You know, the Knight's gonna be better than a Paladin, in my opinion. The Paladin doesn't have, you know, the Knight's, to the right? No. You know, the upside to the Paladin is that he has all the things a Knight can do. You know, plate and chain and armor and all that good stuff. Also, I think we found it. Has access to all those things, and that's great, you know. But what they don't have is any real attack magic. Yeah, I think they're above us. they don't have any attack magic, and that's the real downfall of the paladin. What they make up for in the sustain, that is healing magic, because, you know, spirit and mind are both, unfortunately, very weak. The knight just has that raw, you know, staying power, and that's the thing that I appreciate most about them. I'm gonna pop a save because I cannot remember this. I hope I made the right choice. I don't even know what this brings us. Okay. Yeah, and so the druid's better than an archer. The archer has more of the you know, soldiering ability that is a knight, and that's great. You know, it's great to have that melee combatant, that heavier armor. On the top of my head, I don't actually remember if they can wear plate ever or not. Picture does nothing. Okay. But we're still missing a chest. I mean, I could just be remembering wrong. I really could. Okay. I got sidetracked. Right, so Paladin over the Knight because the Knight just has more raw staying power, and I really appreciate that about them. I think that's more useful, and so I just place more value on that. And between the Archer and the Druid, the Archer, like all fighting classes, or martial classes, melee classes, whatever we want to call them, being the Knight, Druid, and as you were, the Knight, the Druid, Knight, Archer, and Paladin. There we go. Was Spock. There we go. I was thinking he was the navigator, but I don't even remember the navigator's name. The navigator was Sulu. Yeah, so you're trading the early game for the mid game by Sulu. Cool. Give me just a minute to get through this. I'm having an entire mind blank. I have the captain's code, but I'm missing... What am I missing? No. That's fair. Okay, I'm opening in the book. I simply cannot remember where the chest of Varn is. Backdoor key, bibliotheca key, water temple. That's not it. Tomb of Varn from the side. Yeah, that's not helpful. Code scroll. And it's pointing to practically nowhere. It's pointing to this corner, but there's nothing there. Guess I'll just keep looking around. Yeah, this Primus guidebook, honestly, I would give it such a low rating as a review. The information here is just so worthless. It doesn't tell you anything useful. It's definitely neat. It's a fun read if you're just interested in, the game, and that's great. But as for, being useful, it just isn't. I mean, isn't the I genuinely have no idea what it's even pointing at. Let's go back to the library. I think that might maybe be what it's pointing at. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. I feel like there's... Should I have known that? 'Cause they're not labeled as books. But sure, I'll accept that. I'll take that L and just move on. Yeah, but I guess this also bleeds back into what I've been saying. It's... Nothing that we fight is hard. What we're fighting at this point is just dungeon design. And let me tell you, that is a brutal monster. After this dungeon, things will smooth out a little bit. Casa Alamos... 38 minutes already. It's disgusting. Castle Alamos will give us a little bit of trouble, but not Tomb of Varn trouble. The engineer was Scotty, and comms was Are You Who? Engineer is Scotty. Scotty YTTOCS. YTTOCS. There we go. What do we have here? Comms was, I don't know how to spell comms. It was, RU? I don't even know who that is. Like, Beam Me Up Scotty, I know that. Captain Kirk, I know that one. Everybody knows Spock from The Big Bang Theory. I don't know who Uharu is. I mean, is he maybe the Hellboy looking type of guy, but I never watched Star Trek. I was always a little bit interested in it, but never. Captain is Crick. Thank you. We're finally almost done with this place. Okay. Drop all these guys, and we should be done. Okay, it is not showing clear. Which means we missed some monsters. I don't even know what we could have missed. I mean, we've been all over this place twice now. Just kind of looking at the map, I mean, it's somewhere to our left. Varn is terrible. It's very complicated, and I can definitely respect it for what it is. I mean, I'm sure it was intentionally designed to be difficult and challenging and just simply the worst. And on the assumption that the goal was to make a dungeon that is the worst. New World Computing absolutely nailed it. It's not even just nothing up there. It's to the, whatever we're looking for is to the west, but I have no idea where it could be. Yeah, look, we're in range, so it's in the it's southwest somewhere. Did we miss a room here? Look, we can hear them. But where are they? In here? If they're in here, we should get a notification pretty soon. Still showing clear. But back in the library, the library is clear. I wonder how much time I spent going through this the first time. My characters are all tired now. I'm sure they're just as ready as I am to be out of this place. And the rest of the game is maybe a little tedious, but at least simple, you know? It's way more south than this. It's the water temple. Already got that one. There's that's the back door, I think. The back door? Picture door. Yeah, it's the same idea. But so what we're looking for should be to the southwest, yeah. Look, we're in range of whatever it is again. Based on this, it's... I mean, it's gotta be like right here somewhere. Passed it up. What room are we above? You set a beacon. We're in range again. And this just goes back to the library, doesn't it? Double check that area. This is the library. I mean, there's nothing here. It feels like the room it's pointing to is the area with the control cube, but that's not it. Over there, that leads to the other place. This goes back to the library. So we were down there, but it's showing here. What are we above? No, do not want to leave the Tomb of Arn. Okay, if we don't run into it pretty soon, I mean, I mean there may be a room in this dungeon that I've actually have never seen in my life. It's possible that that could be a thing. That goes to the water temple. But we don't want to go there. There's nothing over here. Okay. The very last thing I can possibly think of, because we're almost spent an hour in this dungeon alone, which I think puts us at close to 2.5 hours for this 45-minute thought experiment. The last thing I can think of is to go hit the catacombs one more time, and we're just gonna have to call it there. It's you know, there is the potential that possibly it's just a monster spawned and, you know, it's effectively actually just nowhere. I hate to say I wouldn't put it, you know, past it, but the game's old. Could be buggy, you never know. So if we don't find a main power restored, it's fine, sure. That's a chest of iron. There's nothing here. Okay. Nothing. Nothing. So now we just make a sweep through here. Now we're back to safety. Follow this back around. Back to safety. Nope. Nope. Might have been a decent idea to not loot corpses, but it's a little late for that. We came up from this way. This fork in the road. Nothing above us. Been down this way several times. Nope. Nothing here. We already went up all these stairs, didn't we? Well, I think we're going to be calling this done, because I'm not seeing anything at all. There's no progress. And another hour in Varn is already more than I would have liked to have spent. So, we're going to be calling Varn done. Especially on the grounds that, I mean, the challenge was already busted. Okay. Man, that's frustrating. I mean, surely there has to be a better map of this place somewhere, but I know there's also probably no map made yet that has every enemy location marked. And there's nothing here. And this puts us back here. Okay. Varn is done. I gave it my absolute best shot. I really did. I have no earthly idea where possibly it could be. You know, once again, if somebody smarter than me knows the answer, I mean, please chime in, because I mean, I know I've got nothing on it. So what we're going to go ahead and do for the rest of this episode is just get ready. Oops. It's just get ready for the next section. There we go. And actually all that was worthless. Go to back to Dragon's End. Right, so the next place, and then we're a third done, is Hermit's Isle. So I'm going to cut the recording here because I want to go loot some dragons, and we're going to pick up, I'm just going to keep it rolling. So I will see you guys in a second. Alright, thank you everybody.